Recovery supporters unite. Recovery supporters need a voice. Addicts and addiction recovery are a pervasive pathology and is overexploited. The evil recovery empire promises happy days, restoration, and make it seem like the process is a family bonding experience instead of the expensive, dangerous, overwhelming, and consuming experience it actually is. Their ads show people being sad as addicts and then all happy and normal after their treatment, just like the evil medication empire. What they don't show is the total chaos and selfishness and combat experienced when trying to persuade an addict from a using mentality to a recovery mentality. And I'm not talking about the addict's experience, I'm talking about the recovery supporters' experience. Recovery supporters are the family, friends and co-workers, and neighbors, acquaintances, and every person an addict's life impacts, from the family dog and cat to the mailman. The entire focus is on the addict, who is generally resistant, often ungrateful, unappreciative, and way more focused on getting loaded than giving a crap what their loved ones are enduring. Recovery supporters are usually the first and last line of defense, salvaging and saving an addict's future and life. And they're doing it sober. They don't even get to be stoned for the task. Recovery supporters bear almost all the responsibilities: the money costs, the nonstop worry and concern, the loss of personal freedoms and enjoyments. Their lives are held hostage, and all anyone talks about is how the addict is suffering from this disorder. Yeah, I don't use the word disease. Cancer is a disease. Addiction is a disorder. Yeah, sure, addicts are suffering. I should know. I shot dope for over a decade and reduced my life to a weak and pale shadow of meaninglessness. And I didn't get clean for me. I got clean, responsible, and self-sufficient for others. Treatment empire preaches that you can't get clean for anyone else. It has to be for yourself. And as I heard this over and over again in the recovery culture, I thought, well, I guess I'm fucked, because I clearly don't give a crap about me. I like getting stoned. I like getting loaded. Life sucks and drugs make it tolerable. If it's for me, I'm going to stay loaded. It was when I had this set of epiphanies that made me realize the terror, instability, and imprisonment my addict life victimized others with. The rock bottom moment that made me fully aware how my son would someday see me once he grew up. That he would see me for the worthless, selfish, and mature piece of shit I truly was. That is when I chose to knock my shit off and be a freaking adult. When I understood and accepted that my addict life was holding others hostage, that my son would be deprived of a father who would throw him a baseball and camp in the mountains. As a counselor and helping professional, I have treated dozens of people who I've never met. There are sober people in the world because of my work that don't even know I exist. How did I help these people if I never even met them? How are they sober and living well and no longer victimizing others if they never even took my course? Because their families reached out to me looking for help, solutions, and strategies to get their families free from an addict's behaviors. Because their families, their RSs, their recovery supporters took the course. They heard me on TV or the radio, saw my videos online, my books, or heard me speak at a convention. Like the mother who heard my keynote speech at a 12-step convention as I spent 90 minutes dishing dirt on 12 steps. They heard what I was saying and how I was saying and realized what they suspected to be true all along. The recovery empire was getting paid in spite of having less than 8% success in treating addiction. That somewhere there were strategies and solutions to this thing that they could activate and solve this addiction thing. They called, emailed, and shouted from a rooftop for what they thought may be the only savior left. A guy who's a hardcore dope fiend, accomplished recoverer, author, and innovator. A guy who was speaking a new language and confirming all the shit they'd been suspecting but had no words to describe. A solution that put the whole experience in perspective and gave real solutions and actual strategies to do this on their own. Recovery supporters need a voice. Someone needs to champion them. Someone needs to validate and show concern for their experience. Someone needs to do more than support and sympathize with them. They need to learn how to navigate the circumstances. They need to know how to liberate their addict loved one from addiction so their lives are no longer held hostage. Do you know what the divorce rate is for couples of an addict child? Unfortunately, most of the stats show addict divorce rates. But I can tell you from working in the trenches with families and parents that it's high. Parents typically become polarized on what to do and how to do it. One says tough, one says love, and they don't know how to synthesize to tough love and how to get their roles right. It causes infighting and conflict, which causes more family discord and more fuel for the addiction fire to burn, baby, burn. One is an enabler and the other is an opposer. I spend a lot of time treating families. They're routinely misled by recovery facilities and support groups that oversimplify the complex issues they're dealing with. So I give them proper training, not only support, but strategies to change their situations. Project Addiction Solution video course teaches them and gives them the tools they need to affect an addict into recovery. I am honored to fill this role and to receive their adoration for filling a role they prayed for but had abandoned all hope of never finding. It is such a fulfilling experience to participate in providing solutions that liberate them and their addicted loved one from their prison. I am angry and disgusted at the recovery empire for exploiting their fear and hopelessness for billions of dollars worldwide and helping less than 8 out of 100 people. If you or anyone only succeeded in your work less than 1 out of 10 times, you'd be fired. You wouldn't get repeat business and own a home in the Hamptons. I have been a private counselor since 2005, legally certified and award-winning, a keynote speaker and author with grateful clients throughout the U.S. and 5 countries in the world. I have almost 90% success as an addiction solution provider and 100% with Project Addiction Solution video course, 100%. But when I try to promote my guaranteed online courses and services on Facebook and other social medias to reach the real people who need help, the recovery empire tries to shut me down. They demand I pay $3,000 to Legit Script, a made-up agency that must validate me as a professional. If I use the word addiction in my Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram ad, it is rejected unless I pay the bribe money to Legit Script. You think Facebook and others don't get a piece of that $3,000 from Legit Script? Of course they do. This is how the fat cat extorting million-dollar rehabs that help almost no one keep the little guy down and force society to see them as the only source for help. $3,000 for an ad bribe is a tiny drop in the bucket for a fat cat rehab making bank off of failing. But for me, a small-time private counselor who guarantees his work, I refuse to pay bribe money to the conventional recovery empire for their bullshit validation. I do not require their fictional validation when hundreds of people in the world will testify to my unique ability and innovative strategies. I've won 6 awards. I'm legally certified since 2005. Do 40 hours of continuing education every 2 years. 15 years experience, over 25 years clean on my own. An accredited counselor, clients in 5 countries and throughout the U.S., over 30,000 hours of counseling, and nearly a 95% success rate. Legit Script should be asking me to validate them. What the fuck do they know? But enough about me. I will always remain in the trenches, working with addicts and leading them to the light and away from the dark. My role is shifting, more lately to serving recovery supporters, RSs. It is the family and supporters of addicts that have the real position and leverage to cause an addict to shift from a using mentality to a recovery mentality. I can usually influence an addict quicker and easier by coaching and counseling their family more than the addict themselves. Ideally, I work with both. All in the family use my guaranteed video course and often see me occasionally too. They all get the knowledge and strategies to use, like a team should. They all work from the same page. If we don't preserve the strength and commitment of recovery supporters, then the first and last line of defense fails. Recovery supporters need to be coached on how to unify, how to have solidarity, how to support each other, not just the addict, how to solve what is depriving them from the life they have worked hard for and is being held hostage by some lunatic who thinks getting loaded, gambling, sex, gaming, shopping is only victimizing themselves. Here's the dirty sales pitch. RSs can do Project Addiction Solution for free for the first week. Only if they think it's as innovative as I'm saying it is, and only if they want to subscribe to it, and only if they want to try the whole 6 months worth of solutions for its tiny cost, they can choose to sign up for the whole thing. And if they do it and it doesn't work, they get every dollar back. And yes, depending on your insurance, the tiny cost of PAS can be reimbursed to you. Not thousands or tens of thousands of dollars for generic failing recovery modalities, not rearranging your lives to house your loved one in a facility that requires travel, visits, maintenance, babysitting the whole process. When you're signing up, they make it seem to you, the IRS, that they're going to handle it all for you. You'll barely even need to be involved. Yeah, well, go ahead, ask around, talk to the other families, and they'll tell you that they've been massively misled. Don't take my word for it, ask around. Project Addiction Solution, a few $100 for a challenging course that empowers you to take charge of the addiction process. Guaranteed, and your first week is free. Oh, one more thing. The latest Project Addiction Solution course clients are doing the course with their opiate benzo-addicted son, which their insurance is paying for. The kid has been to 12 rehabs before winding up in a hospital from OD. The parents were polarized. The kid was reckless and no longer trusted anyone who tried to help. He wasn't even sure he wanted to get clean anyway. PAS persuaded him, unified them, and their insurance paid less than $3,000 for months of sessions and the video course. Not only did they learn how to unify to help their son and restore their family to normalcy, but they discovered their own addictions too. She realized she's a shopaholic and he is a workaholic. They're anxious to record a testimonial for Project Addiction. Project Addiction has custom solutions for each and every addiction, from alcohol to ecstasy, gaming to gambling, shopping to sex, custom made, just like you.